Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about the Whoop 3.0 strap, which I've been using for the past 2 weeks, and let's talk about some of the things that went well and some of the things that could be improved. First, let's talk about fit and finish. Now, if you saw from my video a couple of weeks ago, the unboxing of this strap itself, which if you haven't seen, I would absolutely recommend you go back and do that. I'll link it somewhere around the screen. But I am using the Arctic strap instead of the Onyx Black strap that comes with the original Whoop 3.0. So I wanted to look at what this white strap looked like after a couple of weeks and into the future see what it looks like after a few months. But initially it has started to darken. You can wash these straps just with soap and water, but it was a little unfortunate that the bright white did not last very long at all. It is waterproof. The band and the sensor are waterproof. This battery pack that we'll talk about charging in a minute, this is not waterproof, so keep that in mind. But they say you can use it in the shower, you can use it to swim and everything that you might need, but after using it in the shower for the first few days, I decided that I would take it off to shower in the future because the strap stays wet for quite a while after you get it wet, so that's a little bit unfortunate to be going to work and going about your day with a wet Whoop strap. Talking about the fit itself, the strap is incredibly comfortable. I had no problems wearing it to sleep. You barely feel like it's on at all. It's significantly lighter than the Apple Watch, which I think makes a big difference. As you're using it in your day-to-day activities, especially working out, you don't really notice that it's on. So as far as the fit is concerned, I would say that's excellent, and it's something that I would recommend for that reason alone. You don't hardly notice that you're using it when you're going about your normal day and even when you're exercising. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but the strap itself and the connection to your wrist is very strong, so taking it off is not simple. It doesn't fall off. You have to really want to take it off to get it on and off, but it has just been 2 weeks, so I'm not sure if that will continue to hold up over time, but it has held up very well over these past 2 weeks. As you go through your first weeks, when you get your own Whoop strap, I will say you'll start to tweak the fit itself, especially as you go to sleep with it. You'll notice if something's a little bit too tight, you'll start to feel it as you're sleeping, so feel free to tweak the tension on your wrist significantly over the first few days up to your first week. That's something that I did. It wasn't quite right when I first put it on, but over the first couple of days, as you move things around, you start to realize what's good enough to keep the sensor close to your wrist, but not too tight to affect the comfort of the strap itself. Let's talk about charging. Now, charging the Whoop is probably one of my favorite aspects of this wearable compared to others. There are lots that do have fancy cables that can attach straight to the watch itself without having to take them off, but the Whoop is, I think, significantly better than its competitors in that this charging case that it has, it's very small. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen there, but it just slides right onto the Whoop itself. So easy. You hardly even notice that it's there. And you can charge this Whoop while you're working, even while you're exercising, except they do specifically mention that this battery pack is not waterproof. So be very careful that you don't take this on your swims or anything else that it could get wet. So be careful with that, but being able to have this tiny little thing that I can take with me on trips and know that my Whoop will be charged for about a week and potentially even further depending on your level of activity, but being able to recharge with just this simple little case is incredible, and I think that's a huge innovation from the Whoop team, and I'm really happy that they have it work that way. Okay, let's talk about the sensor and accuracy. So they mention on their site that they're within 1 beat per minute of an EKG, so they're talking that their heart rate monitor is incredibly accurate. I will say it is a wrist-based heart rate sensor, so I have a little bit of difficulty believing that it's that close to an EKG, where a lot of the chest-mounted straps are said to be the most accurate, but I have not noticed any significant deviations from my chest and my wrist-based heart rate while I'm working out, so I think that could very well be the case. I think it's been excellent. One of my favorite parts of the sensor itself is that it can broadcast your heart rate as well. This is something that a few other wrist-based heart rate monitors can do, but if I'm riding on Zwift or I'm doing another type of activity where I want my heart rate to be sensed by a separate device, that's something that can be easily done through Whoop, and it's something that you can connect to, whether it's your bike computer, whether it's a treadmill with that capability, or even Zwift. It's something that you can do, and it's a great feature to have. So the accuracy is great, and I love the additional capability to send your heart rate from the Whoop to other devices as well. Okay, if this is your first week, you just got your Whoop band, you just barely put it on, one of the first things you'll notice is that the first couple of days, week, and your first month, the strap itself and the app are starting to learn more about you and your body, how it recovers, and how it adapts to strain in your workout regimen. So keep in mind that as you're using the app, the numbers won't be perfectly compared to you. They'll be compared to an aggregate of people in your exact age bracket. So they take your age bracket as an aggregate, and then they use those numbers to compare your strain score and your recovery score. So it won't be exactly fit to you until you've gone through that initial phase of calibration. Now for sleep, that's 4 days, and for the strain coach, that's about a week. You'll have to wait that week before you can get your feedback. You wait about 14 days to get the actual assessment, the week's assessment, and then you'll have to wait almost a month to get your full monthly 30-day assessment, when you can really start to see more trends in how you're doing in certain aspects of sleep and strain and workouts. So keep that in mind. It will be learning over your first couple of weeks. As it talks about your strain score, this is something that confused me a little bit because it was a little bit more difficult to understand which level of strain actually corresponded to a certain amount of activity. There's a bit of physical strain that you'll get from going about your day in general, and that will start to accumulate on the app. But when you work out, it adds a certain amount of strain to that base level. It does talk about how much you need to add when you're specifically trying to target what your coach says you should do, and that's something that you should make sure to be aware of. But the numbers weren't exactly accurate, and I can show you an image of that on the app. But it'll say that you need to add a specific amount of strain to get to your total score that you're looking for, but it won't always be accurate. So sometimes I'll be at 10 and it'll say I need 15 more to get to a total of 19. So it's not quite right. That's probably just a bug in the app, but it's something that I felt I should note. So there you go. One of the things I did appreciate is that they have an email correspondence list, some sort of campaign that they have send out almost every day that explains little bits about Whoop and how it works. Now, I wish I had had a video similar to this one that I could have watched relatively quickly to get the basics of how it works and what I should expect in the first couple of weeks. But they do send that out, and it's helpful to realize what your recovery score should look like, what a typical heart rate variability should look like, and those things that you may not be as familiar with when you're first starting. Let's talk about the app. Now, the app was probably not my favorite part of having Whoop. It's a little bit complicated to use, and there's a lot of swiping and clicking that you wouldn't necessarily understand intuitively. So my general feedback to you as you're getting started with Whoop would be click on everything and swipe in every direction to try and find hidden menus and hidden fields that you didn't know about. It took me almost a week to realize that if you go into the sleep section, you see your sleep compared to what you're supposed to get for sleep, and you click on it, you can get even more information about how long you spent in different stages of sleep. I didn't even know that was there until I just started clicking on every button that I could find. So my recommendation to users is just click on everything and start to get more familiar with the app that way. My recommendation to the app developers is potentially build in one of those initial walkthroughs where when you're clicking through for the first time, it shows you a few more of the menus, or potentially just make things a little bit more obviously clickable so you know where to navigate to get to certain things. One of the biggest complaints about this product itself is the membership. Now, talking about the membership concept, I know a lot of companies are going in this direction, so it's fairly common to see a fitness type of technology become a membership. You see that just happen with Strava, where almost all of their features now that I enjoy are behind that paywall. But I will say it's a powerful feature, it's a powerful tool, and considering that they're doing a lot of their analysis of your strain and recovery on their own servers, I can understand why it's a membership. A complaint that I do have is that you don't really own all that much. You can't just buy it and expect to continue to use it even in its current state. I know, for example, I have an Apple Watch Series 2 that I still use. I bought it and I own it and I can continue to use it. It won't be supported forever, but it has been, even though they've released future devices since then. They're up to the Series 6 now. So not having that same concept of being able to purchase it and really own it is unfortunate, but I do appreciate all of the insights that they give, and I think they're continuing to improve their product and the UI and the functionality and the features enough to justify that they're having a membership, but They do run deals almost every year, so if you purchase a year, I would try and purchase your year right around Black Friday or another famous deal so that you can get the best bang for your buck and get the year at a cheaper price, because it is quite expensive if you buy it at its typical retail price. All right, that's what I've got. So if you enjoyed this feedback, this video, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. It really does help this channel and I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And if you want to see future videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.